It is labeled as the enrollment piece, which is colored blue. Okay, this is available upstairs if you haven't seen it yet, and it's just kind of a promotional flyer about the Academy. Now, on the back side, we have the enrollment, the intent to enroll form. Now, by virtue of you filling this out this evening, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have enrolled your child. It merely tells us that we have X number of students interested in grade 1, grade 2. And as I'm speaking about that, let me give you the rundown in terms of how many classes we'll have. And basically, it will be one class in each area, with the exception of grade 1. We will have 2 grade 1 classes. So this is the way it will go. And as this proposal was written, it's my understanding that full-day kindergarten had not yet been totally accepted, but as the proposal was finished, it was accepted. So it's going to have to be my study and my judgment as to whether we go with 2 half-day kindergartens as opposed to 1 full-day kindergarten. And certainly that will rest on the numbers. The numbers will have a bearing on that. So if you choose, once again, the choice, if you choose to fill out the pre-enrollment, or what do we call this, the intent to enroll form, it does not necessarily mean that you are enrolling your child. It just says, I'm interested in this. And it gives us a way to put your name down on the database, to get in touch with you, and you can certainly get in touch with us and ask further questions. So, if you're interested, that form is available upstairs, and we are collecting those this evening, and we'll be collecting thereafter, certainly, from now until, well, just we will. As we look toward the actual lottery selection, or putting students enrolled into the school, we're looking to do that probably near the end of May. So, or was that early May, Jeremy? 30th of April, there we go. And, okay, so when you actually do the enrollment piece, and we'll talk about that later, maybe in another meeting as we get closer to the time, then we will be asking you to submit that enrollment form to us by the end of April, April the 24th. Oh, the intent to enroll by the 24th, and then we'll get to that later. Okay. Anyway, just to acquaint you with things. So that was one piece that you could have picked up out there. As we look at, I need to make one statement about the parameters, the boundaries by which we function here. This is a charter school. Therefore, in that scenario, in those terms, we can and will accept students from anywhere in the state. We are required by law to consider and to accept students coming from long distances, but the drawback certainly would be transportation. So if there are people residing, let's say, outside of the Grant County area who choose to come to this venue and the children are selected to be members of this academy, that is certainly acceptable. But the transportation piece falls back to the parent, and except in cases of special needs children. So we will have 1 or 2 kindergarten classes, and the class sizes will be 22, no more than 22 students. Now, if we don't get 22 students in class, it could very well be that we start school, perhaps, with a 3rd grade class that has maybe just 18 children. We don't know. We don't know where we are until we see what the interest may well be. So 2 or 1 kindergarten classes, 2 1st grade classes, 1 3rd grade class, 1 4th grade class, and 1 5th grade class. It is our intent to we envision hiring some 11 teachers to staff this. We additionally envision to hire a couple of teacher aides, educational assistants, to help. We will also have a part-time social worker. We will have an administrative assistants, and we're trying to find an individual who has some bilingual skills, particularly in Spanish. And the food service preparation will be done, outside of the building. So the busing is not a piece that we deal with, at least not within the very near future. And the enrollment cap is 158 students strong. We will very strictly adhere to attendance, and I'll give you an analogy on that real quick, and it was just appalling. I'm a 1969 graduate of Marion High School in this community, and as a couple of the members in the audience were, so just you run out of fingers and toes, but that's okay. So when we went to school, the expectation back then was that you go to school every day, and if you didn't go to school, you didn't go anywhere else outside the house, and that was pretty much the law of the land in my home. Nowadays, it's changed dramatically, and I'm not saying it's the fault of people or of students or of parents. Society's different. But we struck a glaring statistic at the high school the other day. We were in a meeting, and one of the organizers handed out a sheet of absenteeism, and it was very dismal. In the year 2003-04, I believe it was, there was cataloged such an excessive number of absences. And it told me this. It told me that for that number of absences in that school year, something else was more important in the lives of those people. Something else was more important. And then I go back to the statistics that I reported to you earlier, that 24% of this county is functionally illiterate. 23% have earned a four-year bachelor's degree, but that 19.2% of those individuals are dropouts. But it doesn't surprise me. So when I address attendance and expectations, and we ask for reciprocity from parents, you've got to help us with this. You've got to make sure Johnny or Susie or Sally or Elizabeth, whoever it is, gets to school. Yeah, you don't feel well every single day. I don't know of anybody that does. But it's the expectation, and that's what we intend to fulfill, and hopefully you will carry forward with your part as well. So we'll be accountable certainly to Ball State University, and we are under intense scrutiny by the university to perform. They have endorsed this cause. They believe in this cause, as we do, and we will produce the results for our children. Not necessarily for you, not for me, not for the staff here, but for the future. That is of utmost concern and importance. So, I'm trying to think what other pieces might be up there for you to take hold of as you go through this. Let me share just a little bit of information as far as legislation about charter schools in the state of Indiana, as per the 2008 Charter School Conference in Indianapolis in February. Of all of the states in the Union, Indiana ranks, as far as the passage of bills endorsing charter schools, Indiana ranks very high. They give the grade card of laws passed for various states. Indiana is on the A grade card. We are on the A grade card, meaning that legislation since the year 2001 has come forward in support of this agenda. Also, there are many, many, many success stories about charter education, and I'm sure you may hear from other adversaries who will say, well, they're only going to tell you about the good things. They're going to leave out the bad things. That's kind of the way I think life goes many times. You slant it according to the way you're talking or whatever the case may be it right, wrong, or otherwise. But I will say that if we can produce, when we produce the statistics, we will match apples for apples, so to speak. We'll be giving the Northwest educational testing piece at least 3 times a year. The NWEA is what your child is taking right now in most of your schools. And it is the barometer, it is the measurement, the yardstick by which academic gain is